In 1972, The Godfather hit theaters, forever changing the landscape of cinema with its intricate portrayal of power, loyalty, betrayal, and the underworld. The movie introduces us to the Corleone family, headed by Don Vito Corleone, whose influence and business dealings stretch across the Italian-American Mafia. But beyond the dazzling world of crime, there's a darker, more profound story of family, trust, and the consequences of ambition. What happens when a man is forced to choose between loyalty to his family and survival in the treacherous world of organized crime? In this video, we're going to dive into the 6 significant deaths that shook the Corleone family and analyze how each one impacted the trajectory of the story and shaped Michael Corleone into the complex antihero he would become. We'll also draw parallels between these fictional events and real-life power struggles to understand their lasting impact. But first, let's rewind the clock and set the stage for what many consider to be one of the greatest films ever made. The opening sequence of The Godfather sets the tone. We see Michael, a decorated war hero, attending his father's wedding. He is the black sheep of the family, someone who is detached from the criminal world his father rules over. But everything changes the moment Michael's father, Don Vito Corleone, is shot by a rival gang. This moment of violence marks the first turning point in the film. Michael, the clean-cut son, is drawn into the family business not out of choice, but out of necessity. Don Vito's assault sets off a chain of events that lead to the deaths of several key characters and Michael's rise to power. At the heart of Michael's journey is the death of his father. Don Vito Corleone is more than just the patriarch. He is the foundation of the Corleone family. His death isn't sudden. He passes away in his garden from a heart attack after playing with his grandson. A peaceful and poignant end that contrasts sharply with the brutal violence that surrounds him. His death marks the end of an era for the family and leaves Michael with an uncomfortable inheritance: control of a vast empire built on crime. But the story doesn't end there. Michael's new role demands action, and those who are perceived as threats to the family must be eliminated. One of the most pivotal deaths is that of Sollozzo, a drug dealer whose business plans threaten the Corleone family's hold on power. Sollozzo's death, a dangerous gamble. Sollozzo, known as the Turk, represents the modern threat to the Corleone family. Unlike the old-school mafia that relied on gambling and extortion, Sollozzo seeks to expand into the drug trade. His business plan promises enormous profits but threatens the values that Don Vito holds dear, particularly his stance against drugs. Sollozzo's proposal, while lucrative, would tear apart the fabric of the Corleone family and their relationships with key political figures. When Michael Corleone decides to take matters into his own hands, he makes the bold choice to eliminate Sollozzo. This action, though seemingly in line with his father's values, begins Michael's transformation. He's no longer the innocent son. He becomes the instrument of vengeance and power. Michael orchestrates Sollozzo's death in a cold and calculated way, underlining his shift from reluctant heir to ruthless boss. Real-life parallel: the dangers of trust in business. In the real world, the power struggles depicted in The Godfather aren't limited to crime families. In business, we see similar battles unfold. Take, for example, the downfall of companies like Blockbuster, who failed to adapt to the digital streaming world while Netflix rose to power. Trust in old systems, unwillingness to pivot, and the pushback against new ideas often lead to one party being eliminated in the battle for dominance. Barzini's fall: the price of betrayal. With Sollozzo eliminated, Michael begins to consolidate his power. However, there's still one key player left: Barzini, the man behind the plot to kill Don Vito Corleone. He's a schemer, a man who believes in using betrayal as a tool for his own rise. Barzini's character represents the classic villain who thinks he can outsmart everyone, only to find that his own arrogance leads to his demise. In a masterstroke of strategy, Michael arranges for Barzini's death. But what's so compelling about this moment is that it's not just a death. It's the culmination of Michael's strategy to take control. Barzini's death symbolizes the end of the old mafia order and the beginning of Michael's reign as the new Don. Sonny Corleone's death: the consequence of impulsiveness. Sonny Corleone, Michael's older brother, is a man of action. quick to anger and quick to act. Sonny is everything Michael is not. And that impulsiveness leads to his downfall. Sonny's death is one of the most violent and tragic moments in the film. Ambushed in a toll booth by a coordinated hit, Sonny's chaotic life ends in a flurry of bullets, symbolizing the danger of living by emotion rather than strategy. Real-life example: emotional decision-making in business. In real life, many successful leaders have made decisions based on emotions rather than careful planning, leading to significant losses. In the corporate world, impulsive decisions, such as making a hostile takeover without proper planning or entering a market without research, can have catastrophic results, as seen in the Enron scandal. Moe Greene's death, business and betrayal in the modern world. Moe Greene's death might not have the same emotional impact as Sonny's, but it's equally important in the context of the family's business. Moe is a casino magnate who runs a business in Las Vegas. He's a former associate of the Corleones, but Michael needs to secure the family's hold on the casino industry. Moe's refusal to sell his shares leads to his execution. A cold, calculated decision to eliminate a threat to the family's interests. In business, we often see this happen when established players refuse to adapt to changing circumstances. Blockbuster's failure to buy Netflix comes to mind. The refusal to adapt or sell when the industry shifts can lead to obsolescence, or in the case of The Godfather, a violent end. Clemenza's departure, the end of an era. Finally, Clemenza, the loyal soldier of the Corleone family, is a man whose death is only mentioned, not shown. His passing marks the end of the old guard, the generation that built the Corleone family into the powerhouse it was. Although not a violent death, Clemenza's departure signifies that Michael is now the undisputed head of the family, and the old ways are slowly being replaced by new, more brutal methods. The final takeaway: the cost of power. The deaths of key characters in The Godfather show us the cost of power, loyalty, and betrayal. Michael Corleone's rise to power isn't just about eliminating his enemies. It's about making the hard choices, taking the risks, and sacrificing everything for the survival of the family. In the end, Michael realizes that power in the world of crime is fragile, and no one, not even family, is above the rules of the game.